Lake Chapala, Mexico's largest freshwater lake, covering an area of 425 square miles, surrounded by a few unique towns with their own charm. You may be traveling in Mexico or thinking about it and asking yourself, should I check it out? Is it worth it? What's the best way to get there? Well, the answers from my experience may surprise you. I'm going to be breaking down my story with this interesting place today on a day trip to Lake Chapala. The first thing we got to do is get there, so I'm going to break that down now. There's quite a few different options to get here from Guadalajara, each with positives and negatives. If you happen to have a car or are traveling with someone who does, well, aren't you lucky, because that's the easy choice. Lacking that option, it leaves us with the choices of Uber, bus, or taxi. We chose the most affordable and local option, the bus. So there's a big bus station in the center of Guadalajara called Central Vieja. You can enter through Calle Estadio to the west, just walk towards the big building and you'll see a few different things going on. You'll have a choice of Entrada B or A. We luckily chose the wrong one, of course, and walked into B. You'll find a kiosk that says Chapala on it. Now, something to keep in mind, there's two different kinds of tickets. There's regular and direct. Unless you want to make a million stops, I suggest you get the direct one. It's a couple dollars more. I can't remember the total cost, but I believe it was around 60 pesos, something like that, which is about 3.5 USD. If you chose the Uber route, you better be ready to shell out some cash. It's not even comparable, as you can see. And now we relax for about an hour and change on our express bus to Lake Chapala. Let me just be honest here and say that I had no formal plans with this trip to Chapala. One of my friends that I met at a hostel here in Guadalajara said she was going and if I wanted to come. So I said, it, why not? And here we are. This experience was completely off the cuff, no planning, so take it for what it is. So landing at the bus station in the main town of Lake Chapala, called Chapala, it's a totally different vibe than what you would see in Guadalajara. It's got small town vibes with a hint of touristy stuff going on. Being absolutely starving, the first thing we decided to do was get some food. And there is a cute little plaza with street vendors, so we went for it. After that, it's about a 5-minute walk, and boom, we're on the lake.
Wow.
And no modern, aged, touristy town is complete without a big touristy sign.
I guess we're gonna check out Chapala today. That's what it is. It looks pretty cool. We're already on the lake, I guess. Yeah, that's classic tourist.
And it was quite nice at first glance, with boats doing their thing, a backdrop of mountains, and a bright blue sky. Got lucky with that one.
This is where all the boats are hanging out.
Oh my god. Hey. Yes, dude.
Got him.
After you browse the pier, there's a beautiful little waterfront walk that leads you to something very interesting, a skate park. Let's go. It was super cool and gave me Venice Beach type of vibes. When you keep walking, you'll encounter a large market with touristy stuff to buy and a few restaurants hanging around. We walked around for a bit, but assumed that we'd seen most of the town at this part of the trip, so we decided to venture on to the next town, Ajijic. I hope I got that one right. This is where we did some learning, because there's not really a ton of Ubers around here, and the guy made about a 20-minute trip to come and grab us. It was pretty wild. So we did some waiting at this cute little church.
Uber for how long is it? 15 minutes.
15 now, but it was like
God.
18 when it started.
18.
And that poor man's going to now drive us 20 minutes back in the direction that he's coming from for 109 pesos.
He's a man with a...
We are the problem.
When we got in the Uber and headed towards the town, things started to change once again. You'll see some absolutely massive properties out here. I can only guess as to who's living in a few of those. When you get to the town, the road quickly changes to narrow but beautiful cobblestone streets. Walking over to the lake once again provided a completely different view. It was absolutely gorgeous. Actually, this whole town was super, super nice. It's a colorful little town with restaurants, parks, and doggos.
We definitely got to walk through some of those city streets, eh?
Looking back on it, it really reminded me of Antigua, Guatemala, if you know what that's like. We grabbed some food, looked around, and decided to head back before dark. Honestly, this town made the trip completely worth it. You really can't go to Chapala and not come. We would have walked away with a completely different opinion. But there's 2 more towns that we didn't have time to see, and I haven't been there, so I'm not gonna act like I know what's going on, but maybe they're cool too. Now, when heading back to the town of Ajijic, they have their own bus terminal, so you don't need to go back to Chapala. It's on the main road, just north of the Plaza Principal Park. It's super small and super easy to miss, but it looks something like this. And the bus stops right in front. So now the magic question, was it worth it? Now that we've broken it down, I can say that yes, the trip was worth it, but mainly for the fact that we got to see Ajijic. If we ended up going to just the town of Chapala, I would have had a very different opinion. Although Chapala is cool, it's just not as cool, and there's only a very small area to explore. I hope that you guys got some value out of this video with me just completely winging this excursion and rambling here. And if you went to the other towns on the lake, please let me know how it was in the comments and if I missed anything important here. Make sure to subscribe for more travel content because next I'm heading to Mexico City and Guatemala. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Book that trip. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Later.